China. This is the 10 steps America should take now to respond to the China challenge. Why don't you talk to us, Jim, about what the most important things that have to be done quickly? What are the priority things?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And you understand this because you're a strategist. You were at the Marine Corps.
I love this stuff.
Right. And it's this, how do you do a long-term competition, right? There's two ways to do that. You could beat each other over the head with a baseball bat until the least bloody one is left.
The Chicago way.
And so I'm the winner, like World War I, right? Or you do what we've done before in our history, which is as much as we focus on beating our competitor, we focus on protecting our strengths, our resilience, our competitive advantages. So here's the number one thing. Don't do anything to get back at China that is going to undermine or slow the recovery of the U.S. economy. Because getting the economy up and running is job one. So don't
cut off your nose to spite your face.
Don't be the guy standing outside watching your house burn and going to the fire department and saying, "Hey, look, let me tell you about how I'm going to I'm going to add an addition on the house." Get the fire out, get the house up and running. So the things we focused on in the plan are what can we do right away? What will actually bug China? That will make you feel good about, I got those SOBs, but would actually hurt them and piss them off, right? And what can we do that we don't need a law, we don't need something else. So the number one thing is we can investigate the World Health Organization in China. We don't even need their cooperation for that. And here's why that's important. We passed a law a couple of years ago called the Global Magnitsky Act.
Yes.
Using the tools in that act, we can sanction members of the Communist Party. We can seize assets. We don't need laws or anything. We don't need the International Court of Justice. We don't do anything to make their life miserable. And instead of screwing up the entire U.S.-China relationship, we can go after specific individuals that are in power and hurt them.
Which is, in the last 10, 15 years, demonstrably the most effective way to do sanctions. When you target the key players,
right?
And as they used to say, what is an NYPD Blue, you squeeze their shoes.
Hello, Venezuela. Hello, Iran.
Right.
So, hello, Russia. So, yeah, this is absolutely the 1-2 punch that will definitely get people's attention.
Let's talk about your field of expertise specifically. You are responsible for one of the most popular books published in terms of downloads in China as well. It is the Index of Military Strength, correct, every year?
Yeah, I'm really glad you raised that point because one of the things on our list is we have to invest in defense. And this goes back to the thing is don't do things that will make you feel good. Like the little kid in a grocery cart thinking he's steering the grocery cart.
Reaching out for the candy.
Do things that will actually get the Chinese attention. The Chinese recognize hard power. That's what gets their attention.
Right.
So if we got to get the economy up and running, no question about that. We're dumping trillions of dollars in debt. That's horrific. We got to stop that. But you cannot throw defense under the bus. If you stop investing in defense, that will send the clearest message the Chinese could possibly ask for. You're just not serious.
And how does that look with regards to the region in which China is?
So there's a couple of things. We have to partner with our friends. That, again, will really anger the Chinese.
Yes.
They're running out there and they're trying to take people away from us. So what will hurt the Chinese more is rather than trying to think up some faux way to punish them, kind of, okay, you can't send your Chinese students here. India, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Australia, New Zealand. The more closer we get to those, we call them the Quad Plus, those allies, the more we isolate China, the more they'll hate that. Same thing in Europe. The more Europe is prime to walk away from Beijing. The United States just needs to step in and say,
that's going to be one of the hardest.
Come on home.
Isn't that going to be one of the hardest?
I mean, we talked about this before. I really think that the British are going to walk away from the Huawei investment in 5G. This will be the sign. You know this well. There's a thing called the 17+1. That's the Chinese partnership with all these countries. The Europeans have recognized, because they've told me, they said, we are such freaking idiots.
Off the record.
The Chinese have been playing, every country's been wanting to be, what can I do for China, right? And the Chinese have played us off against each other. They've pressured us individually. They've undermined European solidarity. And the epitome of that is 17+1. So when countries start pulling out of that cooperative arrangement with the Chinese, that'll get their attention.
Explain why 5G is linked to that, why that's about 5G. Really.
Well, of course, the number one security threat to the U.S. and Europe is allowing the Chinese to build the future telecom network, because there is a law in China that says any information touched by any Chinese company is the property of the Chinese government. So if no matter what you do, if you build a telecom network and it flows over a piece of Chinese software,
it's theirs.
Under law, they have to give it to the government. And you say, well, I don't care. I'm Seb Gorka. I'm really smart. I'm going to triple-double encrypt my information. Doesn't matter, because at the same time, the Chinese are building quantum computing and high-speed computing, and eventually they're going to crack that data.
Yeah, they'll use IA. They use artificial
intelligence and quantum computing. They'll suck all that data up. They'll put it in the storeroom next to the Ark of the Covenant, and then one day they'll figure out how to get it and use it against you.
Movies. He loves movies. Let me just drop in here. Check out Dennis Prager's new book, new movie, No Safe Spaces, a 99% fresh rating on RottenTomatoes.com. You can download it, stream it, order the DVD at nosafespaces.com with a promo code. Thanks to Dennis, save 25 for 25% off. Last minute we have with you in this segment. What is the importance, what is the pivotal role that Taiwan plays, and what should we be doing about Taiwan?
Well, of course, two things. The more we work with Taiwan, and that's on our list of recommendations, and this administration started doing that, high-level officials going through, the more
that's going to drive them nuts.
Drives the Chinese nuts. And the other thing, which is perverse but absolutely true, is the more we support Taiwan, actually the more respectful the Chinese act in relation to Taiwan. So actually, when you think that is destabilizing, it's actually the reverse that's true. The closer we get, the more conservative the Chinese get in their relationship, and the more stable the region is. When we back off,
that's when they think it's time to go for it.
Right.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Fabulous analysis. We're going to put this up right now on Facebook, on Twitter. You can read it, the original, at heritage.org. You should be members of Heritage. Join today. Check out the Daily Signal for updates from the conservative mothership. It's the 10 steps America should take now to respond to the China challenge by Jim Carafano, our guest, and Walter Lohman. We'll be back and then taking your calls on 833-33-GORKA. That's 833-334-6752 on Second Amendment Friday. Ask Dr. G anything Friday. I'm Sebastian Gorka, former strategist to President Trump, author of the recent book, The War for America's Soul, live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. Don't touch